So while these amendments are in limbo and they haven't been passed or enacted yet, what can employers do to prepare for potential unionization campaigns?
Well, it comes down to this. I mean, even if the laws change, the basics of how companies stay union free doesn't change. And in fact, is that when we were certain that the law was gonna, or that the changes were gonna go through, we got flooded with requests to, come in and help us, put that firewall around our company, as I like to say, and protect our employees and educate our supervisors to the tactics and to what happens during organizing campaigns, and let's try to prevent it. What's happened since then is that that's fallen off the radar because unfortunately companies don't look at this type of training as a tangible expense. They look at it as something, yeah, well, we can do later on. There's no big rush to do it now. We can do it later on. Well, they could get hit any time with the petition. And it's unfortunate that people look to labor attorneys and to labor consultants as and use them as their corporate firemen. And that's a shame because when there's a fire, they get a phone call. We get a phone call and we got to go charge in and try to put out the fire. We're taking the smart step would be to prevent the fire from starting in the first place. I mean, it's smart because you don't have to go through all the expense and trouble and all the just destroying the relationship. And you still, even if you win, you're going to have a fractured workplace. Your employees are going to be fractured against those who were for it and those who were against it. Now you got to take all the time and energy and money to reunite and to re-bridge that gap. But it's just good business. If you have people who you're communicating with and you have a good workforce, it's going to solve so many problems. I mean, just like the turnover rate and so many other things that it's just good business to educate your management staff on how to deal with workers. And one of the results is you stay union free.
One of the things that I would say is you have a cost savings inherent in every business in America where you don't have inefficiencies built in. Unions, as we talked about in the beginning, are inefficient. Even if they don't file a grievance, and they are truly one of the good unions, that quote unquote good unions, they're not good for business because you still have the laws and regulations. So if you know out there there's a possibility, it's like buying a generator. You go out, you buy a generator, you put it in the backyard, you sit it there for a year, you don't have any gas, you haven't checked it, the electric goes out. Well, it's great that you got a generator. You've gone out and you kind of like talk to your managers. But when the time comes and you need it now, because you need electric right now, and that you flip that switch and it doesn't work because you haven't gone out there, you haven't done proper maintenance, you haven't filled it full of gas, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the store? You're going to be fighting with everybody. At that point in time, you're out of time, you're out of resources. So what you have to do is you have to dedicate yourself, like you said, change your DNA. You buy the proper equipment, you maintenance that proper equipment, and you prepare just in case. And it's part of your everyday basis. That's why you do preventative maintenance in medicine, why you do preventative maintenance with your car, and you better do it with your business because it's as valuable as everything else. It is your health and it is your performance. And if you don't do it, and you don't do it regularly, and you don't do it adequately, you will be behind the eight ball and you'll lose.
It's an insurance policy. It's an insurance policy, and let's go back to the causing factors of organizing activities. It's a breakdown of communication. Once again, when you have a breakdown of communication, the trust is weakened. You're diluting your own tools if there's a campaign. Because if you don't have a good communication level with your employees, the first thing you're gonna do is start to communicate. Now, the unions, they know this happens all the time. The most basic union organizer is going to drive the message home that now we're talking to you. Hey Bob, how you doing? Well, what do you care how I'm doing? You haven't even talked to me in 3 months. You haven't, my son was sick. You haven't come up. You haven't asked me how he's doing. You haven't talked to me. You haven't thanked me for working all the overtime. You haven't communicated with me at all. Now all of a sudden you want to talk to me. Well, guess what? The union told me you were going to do this. So it dilutes your ability to communicate with your people on that. And if you do make the simple, basic, low fruit hanging changes that you can make during a union organizing campaign, the union's gonna go back there and see what we did for you already. We're not even in there. We don't even represent you yet, and look at the changes